Hello, Triple J families. I want to introduce you to your puppies. This is your litter birth announcement. Hi, I'm Claire from ISLE Labradoodles, and these mini Australian Labradoodle puppies are 24 hours old. They were born yesterday on June the 12th, 2023, and several things occurred to make this a momentous birth at ISLE Doodles. The first thing was they were born on my birthday. Yay! Thank you for the present, Jojo. The second thing was we ran into a problem with this litter. We had a delivery that was out of the normal and a little bit difficult, which we'll tell you about in a minute. But we have 4 beautiful, happy, and healthy Labradoodle puppies. And we're going to, in the video today, tell you all about the whelping experience and how that went and the problem we ran into. And then we're going to introduce you to each of the puppies, and we'll tell you what sex they are, a little bit about their color and pattern, what time they arrived, and their birth weight. So normally when we have our Labradoodle puppies, we have a fair bit of time to get ready, most of the time. So Jojo in the morning on June the 12th, she didn't want to eat her breakfast. This is usually a really good sign that things are starting to get underway. Now the night before, she also was, I don't really want to eat. She had a little bit, so we had a pretty good idea that probably Monday was going to be the day that the puppies arrived. And in the morning when we woke up, she had that look. Girls get this sort of far away look where they have this vacant stare when the puppies are starting to get ready to be born. And what happens when the puppies are starting to get ready to be born? Well, the puppies are located right around here on mom's body. This is where we see the baby bumps. And when it's time to be born, girls, the dog girls, have 2 what we call uterine horns. They're like tubes, and they go together into a short uterine body. And so this is the incubator for your puppy. And so they travel down these horns, and then of course they are delivered. And sometimes puppies, depending on how many there are and how big they are, they can be located way up here on the girl. So that's quite a long journey to come down here to be born. So it can take quite a while. And it's kind of fun while they're starting to prepare to come down. You'll see all sorts of things where you have a big poking out area here while the puppies make their journey down towards the exit. So on Monday morning, Jojo gave us that look saying that something's happening. I know something's going on. And we could see the puppies had what we would call dropped, where they'd moved farther back in her body. So we were pretty sure they were going to be born sometime that day. But my guess was 4 o'clock in the afternoon. Quite often this phase, which we call stage 1 labor, can last for hours and hours and hours. Sometimes it's up to 20 hours long, where what the girl does is she pants, she might dig a little bit, she walks around with her back hunched up, because we call that roached, because it's a little bit uncomfortable having all those babies shifting. And it can go on for quite some time. So I wasn't in any panic. Reynolds was taping a fence to get painted, and I said, oh no, it's fine, I'll get everything ready. But we were starting to get ready. We were laying out all our supplies, getting the whelping nest ready, and Jojo was right there next to me so I could keep an eye on her. And she was in one of our donut beds, and Reynolds came in to help me with some of the preparations, and he took a glance and he thought he'd seen something, but he went, no, nothing there. And then I continued on with our preparations, and then I had seen that she was licking herself quite a bit, which is what normally happens when a puppy's arriving or has arrived. And I took a quick look, and no, there was nothing there. And then I took a second look because I thought, well, it looks like there's some liquid on the floor. And sure enough, what did we have? We had 2 little back feet sticking out. Very small amount. And it was this puppy here, Red Collar, who's the first puppy. And just to demonstrate, this is all we could see, was just the pad of the feet. So all that was out was this amount of the puppy. Well, you can see how small that is. Not much to grab onto, not much to help her deliver. So this was not good because the puppy was out of the sac. All puppies are born in their individual birth sac, and then the placenta is attached with their umbilical cord. So the puppies come out and they're encased in this sac, and it's full of amniotic fluid. Once the sac breaks, first of all, the fluid is all around the puppy. The puppy can ingest and inhale all those fluids and drown, or the puppy is going to be out of oxygen. So it's very critical that once the sac is broken, that there's not very much time or you're going to lose the puppy. So we're in full, oh my goodness, we have to do something, let's get going mode. So I put my gloves on. I usually like to deliver the puppies with just my hands. I don't like wearing the surgical gloves, but the gloves sometimes can give you a bit better grip. Tried, no, nothing. I gave Jojo a little bit of a calcium paste, as that helps the contractions be a little bit stronger. And sure enough, she did give me lots of really good pushes. And then Reynolds came back from inside, and he helped by just retracting her vulva so I could find some more of the puppy. But we weren't getting anywhere, and we both looked at each other and felt that we'd lost the puppy. So we thought we would wait for just a few more minutes to see if we could deliver the puppy. We were still not getting anywhere, and we had decided we were going to need to phone the vet and bring Jojo in for an emergency cesarean section. So we thought just before we do that, we take one of our washcloths. Reynolds really retracted her vulva. I reached in. I had already reached into the birth canal to try and pull the puppy out, but I couldn't get anywhere. But this time with the washcloth, I was able to get enough of a grip. We worked with a contraction and we got the puppy almost all the ways out, but the head was still inside. And that, of course, is the most critical part. But we didn't need to do a cesarean now. We knew the puppy was being delivered. And sure enough, just a few seconds later, the whole puppy came out. And guess what? She's totally fine. It was, for us, it seemed like forever because we were so worried about the puppy. We were so afraid something was going to happen. But no, probably it was not anywhere near as long as we had imagined, and little Red Collar was born without any issues. She's totally healthy. She's got tons of energy. What was the problem? Well, she's giant size. When we go through all their weights, you'll see, well, you can see just looking how much bigger she is than this little one next to her here, which I think is the one boy. Yep, that's Blue Collar. And you can see just the width of the puppy there. This is a big, big puppy. So because she was first, that was holding everyone up. So we were really relieved when she was born. And after that, the delivery went smoothly. Everything went pretty much as we would expect it to. Now, we only had 4 puppies. We had thought that maybe we were going to have 6 because Jojo looked a little bit larger than last time. She had 5 puppies last time. But I think because she looked so big because the one puppy was so big. But Jojo was a trooper. She didn't complain at all. She knew pretty much what we were asking her to do, and she really gave us some wonderful contractions, and she just took it all in stride and was like, that's totally fine. I'm not worried about having this giant puppy, and the rest of them, I'm sure, were much more comfortable for her to deliver. And so the puppies all arrived in fairly good time. When the 4th one was born, we knew there weren't any more. And so I had a reservation in this litter, so I've given up my spot so that all of our families can have one of their puppies. So let's get on to meeting the puppies, because that's the most fun part of all. So we're first of all going to introduce you to the firstborn. And in all of your litter updates, when we go through the puppies, we're always going to do them in birth order. That's the most fair way to do it. So Red Collar Girl, she is our little giant here. And I don't think Jojo will mind if I pick the puppies up. This is not Jojo's first litter, so she's quite comfortable with her puppies being handled. Now in this litter, the other surprising thing is this litter statistically should have been half chocolate and half caramel. And what do we have? we have all caramels, and we have caramels in 2 different shades. Now the technical term for this type of caramel is frosted caramel, because it's this beautiful creamy light gold color. Now you'll see as time goes on, the markings, the caramel markings on their bodies here, those will get darker. Right now they are hard to even see against the white, but those will darken up. And now look at the size of the paws on this giant puppy. This little girl was born at 10:54 a.m. and she weighed 352 grams. That's the size that we usually see for a large one of our mini Labradoodle puppies, not a little mini. No, this was big honking girl. Now, does this mean she's going to be a giant when she grows up? We'll just have to wait and see. It's not necessarily indicative of the fact that she will remain the biggest, or indicative of any fact that she will indeed be larger. She may be though. And you can see on the back she has some pretty markings on the top of her head, and her size does justice for her. Oh, she's got a little bit of something on her nose there. She's well able to use that heft to maneuver her way around the milk bar and get right in where she wants to find something good to satisfy that giant appetite. And Jojo herself is quite hungry, so maybe it's because she has to feed this big girl here. Next, just a few minutes later at 11:04, Orange Collar was born. And Orange Collar is also a girl. And orange is the other color of caramel that we have here. So this is more like Papa Jack's color. I'm just going to put red back in the right direction here. Because they're just 24 hours old, they still get a little turned around fairly easily. So orange is more of this traditional type of caramel color. And these puppies here that are darker, as time goes on, they may lighten or they may darken. I'm going to guess they're going to darken because their ears are a little bit darker. So Orange Collar Girl was, compared to her sister, she was just 279 grams. Much more reasonable size for what we were expecting. She's got lots of white on her as well. You can see some white paws there. She's got some white on her tummy as well. If she'll share, and you can see her umbilical cord is just drying up there. Lots of white underneath, so lots of flash on this little one. Yes, that's a good little girl. And then after Orange Collar, we had our one and only boy, Blue Collar. And he's very similar color to Orange. A little bit lighter, little bit getting closer to that creamy kind of shade. Really pretty colors on these puppies. We have 2 litters right now who are all darks. They're all chocolates and blacks for the most part. So it's kind of fun to have this litter with these pretty light colors. And you can see he has a beautiful blaze up the center of his head. He has 4 white paws. He's actually a tuxedo. He was born at 12:19. We had a little bit of a wait between puppy number 2 and his arrival, about, well, just a little bit more than an hour actually. And he weighed 291 grams. So really nice solid puppy, even though they aren't as big as Big Sister Red. Oh no, they're not. They're really nice, solid puppies. Now you hear me talking to the puppies. I talk to them throughout their lives. At this point, of course, they cannot hear me because their eyes and their ears are sealed shut. And then last puppy born was Purple Collar, who is similar to the first born, where she's this gorgeous creamy caramel shade. Lots of white markings on her, which are hard to see right now because the caramel is almost the same as the white, but as time goes on, you'll see that more and more. And this little lady was born at 12:39 p.m. and she weighed 299 grams. So Orange, the second born, is the smallest puppy in the litter, and Red, the firstborn, is by far the biggest puppy in the litter. So that's all the puppies. Everyone is doing well. They all nursing very easily. They did keep us up, or I should say Reynold more than me, quite a bit last night. There was a fair bit of fussy pussy going on. Jojo's doing really well with being hungry, and so she was up eating the food that we leave out for her overnight multiple times. And so of course every time she moves, they lose their spot at the milk bar, and that's quite a hysterical moment for them, and they all get all like, oh, where's my mom gone? Jojo's taken everything in stride. Funny story, just maybe an hour and a half, maybe only an hour, I think, actually, before the puppies were born, she was outside in the backyard with Reynold and the rest of our dogs. And what was Jojo doing? Bringing her ball to him, asking him to throw her ball for her. So even just an hour before she was going to deliver her first puppy, she was all game to go and chase the ball. And I can tell you right now, she won't chase the ball, not because she doesn't feel like it, but she is so dedicated to her puppies. She goes out, she has a very quick pee, and she makes a beeline back for the door, and she's yelling at whoever let her out to come back and let her in right now. She does not want to be away from her puppies. She's also, if she sees any of the other dogs, if we have her door open, she's quite protective out there, growling at them, making sure everyone knows these are my puppies, back off. So Jojo's eating really well. She's already eating about twice as much as she would normally. She's taking everything in stride. And now what we're going to do over the next week is we'll monitor her, make sure we don't have any hard bumps or lumps here, that no mastitis is developing. Because with a small litter like this, with only 4 puppies, it's very likely that we are going to have some hard spots that we're going to have to manage. So in next week's episode, we're going to tell you a little bit about how we manage Mom, what we do to manage those potential mastitis areas if they occur, and I do expect that they probably will. What we do to keep Mama Jojo comfy, happy, comfortable, why we're in this type of a room, and then we're going to also tell you a little bit about early neurological stimulation, which is what we'll start doing with the puppies tomorrow. So if you have any comments or questions, please post them below. We'd love to hear from you. If you enjoyed your litter update, please give us a thumbs up, and we hope you enjoyed the video and that you'll stick with us for the full 8 weeks and watch as these little Australian Labradoodle puppies grow up and find out eventually who they'll be going home with. Thanks so much for watching.